Professor X asks a young new mutant recruit, "What is your mutant ability?" The mutant replies, "Hindsight." Professor X says, "I can't see how that's going to help us at all." And the mutant says, "Yes, I can see that now." Hey, thanks for stopping by. In today's Comic Book Editions Volume 131 video, I'm going to show you a comic book that I was starting to begin to believe didn't exist. Plus, I'll do a little bit of a follow-up to last week's Comic Book Editions as well. I'm glad that you're here. If you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, I hope you take this opportunity to do so because it's a great way to show support to my channel. Getting us started with the things that I want to show you in the video today is the DC Comics Post Mini Comics Collection, Volume 1, 1979. This is one of 3 books that is offered as a new release from Trident Studios. I've left a link for Trident Studios' Etsy page in the description to this video in case you're interested in any of these. I purchased all of the mini comic collections that they've done before and have bragged on them, and they deserve to be bragged upon. The quality of these books are amazing. So this reprints the 4 mini comic books that were in Post serials back in 1979. There's a Batman and Robin. There's a Superman. There's a Wonder Woman story where she takes on Cheetah. Then there's all of the superheroes together along with Aquaman in a group story. This brought back so many memories for me when I was reading this. One thing that I think I'm accurate in saying this. I think the 1979 mini comic books, when you bought the serial, you were able to tell on the box, or at least maybe on the back of the box, which mini comic book was included inside of that serial. And then I think after that year, everything else they did became essentially blind boxes. So you didn't know what comic book or what superhero poster was inside which box of cereal, so you had to keep on buying until you were able to collect the entire set. That's how I seem to remember it. I think that's accurate. Volume 2 that comes in this 3-pack is the next year, the 1980 DC Superheroes Post Mini Comic Collection. And this has got Batman and Robin taking on the Joker. There's a Superman mini comic reprinted in here. Wonder Woman, she's taking on Angleman. And then all of the characters together along with Aquaman is a DC Comics group story too. Once again, so many memories this brought back. So excited that Trident Studios ended up reprinting these and putting these together as a set. But the one in the 3-pack that I'm really the most excited about having is this one, Volume 3. This is the DC Superheroes Mini Comic Collection, Volume 3, 1981. But what's cool about these were Canadian only, so they weren't offered in the United States. The stories themselves, the mini comics, there aren't as many pages. And in the word balloons, they're done in French Canadian and English, but it has more characters. So there's mini comics in here from Aquaman, Batgirl, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Hawkman, Supergirl, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I've known of these, but I've never actually seen or read these. So I was stoked when I saw, because this was on my wish list of projects that I'm hoping that Trident Studios would do. So thumbs up to them. Good job. So when I was putting together the comic book portion and other things that I want to show you in today's video, I looked back at it and I said, oh, it's really female heavy. I better find some guy titles or group titles or something else to balance this out. Then I thought, this is my channel. You guys expect to see that. So it's going to be what it's going to be this week. Comic book wise, jumping into the incentive covers that I want to show you. I usually show off my incentive covers that I get. I don't buy a lot of regular current issues. So I don't show those. And mostly by the time I get them or by the time I show them, you've already seen them on other folks' channel. But I do try to show off the incentives because sometimes you might see something there that you hadn't seen before. Wonder Woman Historia, number 3. This is the 1 in 25 incentive cover. It's the fall leather cover, which was just the same thing that they did for issue 1 and issue 2's incentive covers. One thing that really surprised me is the reception that the Wonder Woman Historia series got. I saw so many people who, when the issues would be released, were posting how they picked them up and how much they loved them and enjoyed them. People that I weren't expecting to see and read that from. So I thought that was really cool. This series certainly took a long time. It took years after the announcement that it was coming before it actually got published. And then it took 13 months between issue number 1 and issue number 3 to be released. My comic store that I bought these from, my LCS, they didn't get very many of the copies of the incentive covers. So I feel really lucky to have these and have procured them for my collection already. The main Wonder Woman title, the main Wonder Woman comic book, has been doing a lot of variant and incentive covers recently. Issue number 794 had this 1 in 25 incentive covers. Incentive cover, I should say. So they've been doing on average about 5 to 6 variant covers per issue. Not all of those are incentives, but that's a lot of variant covers just for one issue of a comic book. As a matter of fact, it's been costing me in like the $60 to $75 range just to get every cover for each issue that comes out monthly. And that starts to add up after a little bit, even though the comic store I'm buying them from is really fair with the pricing too, which I'm thankful for. I'm thankful, first of all, that they even get the Wonder Woman variants, because a lot of places don't. They don't buy enough to get the incentive covers, but then to price them as fair as they have. So that does make me really happy. The current issue right now that's out is $7.95. This is the 1 in 25 incentive cover. But like this issue, as a matter of fact, and the issue that's coming out this month, and the issue that's coming out next month, there are 6 variant covers for each issue. I mean, that's a lot. You know, a couple of those are incentive covers, like a 1 in 25 or a 1 in 50. But man, that does add up after a while. This cover with Wonder Girl, Yara Flor, it's not my personal favorite. I'll be curious to see what you think about it. Just kind of there for me. But speaking of the 1 in 50 incentive covers for the current issue, $7.95, here is the 1 in 50 incentive cover, which essentially is the A cover, but it's a virgin, and then it's foiled out of its mind. Now this cover I really like and really enjoy. So not a lot of complaints about this one, or at least shelling out the money for this. But one thing too, especially I've noticed with the Wonder Woman covers, you know, after a year to year and a half, they just become so hard. The incentive ones just become so hard to find, at least I think, or they become priced out of where I'm comfortable paying. So I guess that's why I'm picking them up now while I can, while I still can get them in budget. And because I have all of the other covers, I just don't want to stop right now. That's kind of my rationalizing for doing it, even though some of the covers I haven't been the biggest fan of. I haven't been the biggest fan of how much money I've been spending. You know, it's $60 to $75 for each issue that comes out, and it adds up. So jumping from current and modern Wonder Woman all the way back to the Golden Age, I have picked up the Golden Age Wonder Woman Volume 3 Omnibus, and I'm psyched to get this. Essentially, this was, in my mind, what I deem a revenge purchase. I had, about a month and a half ago, I had this really bad day, and I came home during lunch and found a place that had this on sale, and I was able to pay for it in installments. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. And then I went back to where I was and had a much better day after having known I bought this omnibus and it was coming. So I already have the Wonder Woman Volume 1 and Volume 2 Golden Age omnibuses. Now I have Volume 3. So Volume 4 is still the current volume, and that's been out almost 3 years. From what I can tell, I think it's just gone out of print. So while financially this isn't the time that I really want to, you know, spend that much money on another omnibus, it's out of print. So just a few days ago, I went ahead and ordered me a copy. And you'll be seeing that on my YouTube channel in a future comic book editions video soon. Luckily, I have some credit card rewards that I can apply to that purchase, which will cut the price down in half. So that's going to help a lot and bring it into budget a little bit more for me, like I wanted it to. One thing that I really love about these Golden Age omnibuses is the fact that not only are they reprinting the Wonder Woman stories from her title, they're reprinting, her Golden Age Sensation comics and her Golden Age Comics Cavalcade appearances. As a matter of fact, with this omnibus, it wraps up all of her Comics Cavalcade reprinted appearances. Then in volume 4, which is the current volume, that has mostly comic books that have never been reprinted of Wonder Woman's until that point. And volume 5, which was solicited and canceled and is now currently rescheduled for fall, so hopefully it doesn't get canceled, that will be almost entirely made up of content that has never been reprinted since its original printing. Assuming that they do 5, because sometimes DC Comics has a habit of starting titles and not finishing them out, which drives me and some other collectors a little bit crazy. But assuming that they do finish these out, there needs to be one more volume, a volume 6, which will wrap up all of the Golden Age Wonder Woman appearances. Desperately need that to happen. So, but I am stoked to have this, and like I said, in the future you'll be seeing volume 4 on my channel. My omnibus game has really grown a lot. I mean, I'm showing you this omnibus. Last week I showed you my Who's Who omnibus that I received as a holiday gift. And then more recently too, and I showed you back in December, my She-Hulk omnibus that I got. Now, if I can get some more omnibuses into my collection, I would be a happy camper. I'm a huge fan of this format. So following up to last week's comic book editions video, I was talking about, I said that there was a Funko Pop, a Wonder Woman Funko Pop that I had purchased but hadn't shown on my channel yet. And I want to show that now because I said I'd probably do that this week. So here it is. This came out after the 80th anniversary edition. This is the Wonder Woman Target exclusive Justice League Funko Pop. And it's pretty cool. It's very colorful, and I like that. And she's flying and twirling the rope, the lasso. So I think that that's really cool. Plus, I didn't have to send away for it. The nearest Target to me actually had some in stock. I looked on their website and it said they had some in stock. I went there and they actually did. The merchandise was actually correctly counted on the website. So yay. That was not a wasted trip at all. I do have another larger Funko Pop item. And the reason I'm not showing it in this video, I'm waiting to get some other books that kind of tie into the pop I want to show, and I want to show them all together. So it might be even another month before you see that on my YouTube channel, but I have something cool to show you Funko-wise. For the holiday season, since I'm talking about Funko, and I haven't opened this up yet, but little Christmas tree full of some mini Funkos, not just mini Funkos, but they are the miniaturized version of the DC Comics holiday Funkos that they did a couple years ago. So got Wonder Woman, you got Flash, who I think is my favorite of the group of these Funko Pops for the holidays. You got Superman, and you have Batman too. But I thought that was a cute little collection to get the little mini pops together, all in a little Christmas tree decoration. And since I'm showing non-comic book items right now, I knew of this next item, the Firestar action figure from Marvel Legends. From Comic Food 2814, he was telling me that Firestar is one of the new waves, and he's had his figure for a while. And I started looking for the figure unsuccessfully until recently. I actually found it at my LCS. They only had Black Panther and Firestar, and they had a couple copies of each. So I couldn't resist Miss Angelica Jinx. Yeah, if you remember that Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends origin episode. Angelica Jones, Miss Angelica Jinx, as she was known back in school. So there's not a lot of Firestar products out there outside of comic books, let alone she's too awesome. I wonder if there's ever been a Firestar Funko Pop. I don't know. If there is, I don't know if I'd be able to resist that one. So we'll find out. I'll do a little research on that sometime. I still am loving the artwork, the artists that they're using to do the packaging on this. This is really strong. This is only the third Marvel Legends figure that I have in my collection. You might remember the very first one I got was Ms. Marvel Black Lightning Bolt costume. Then I got the Dark Phoenix one, and now I have Firestar. I wanted to get the regular Phoenix one, but that was a Mattel exclusive, and it sold out before I had the opportunity to buy it on their site. So, ooh. And I don't want to pay outrageous prices, on secondhand collector sites like eBay or whatever. So If it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and I'll find it some other way. But I'm just enjoying the ones that I have so far. I have another mutant. Before I wrap up this comic book editions video, I told you there was a comic book that I was starting to think didn't even exist. Oh, but it does exist. Oh yeah. AXE Judgment Day, the final issue, issue number 6 of the miniseries. So one of the variant covers was the Disco Dazzler by Artgerm. I even bought the poster, the big 24 by 36 poster, and show that in a video too. Obviously, I need to get it up on the wall, even though I have a frame for it. But to have a virgin cover of this, couldn't resist at all. And I was told about this and just couldn't find this book, couldn't find it. Come to find out it was an Artgerm exclusive, I believe, from his website. And mine does come with a COA, a numbered COA. There were only 1,000 made, and this is number 86 of 1,000. So I was starting to think either this was a ghost title or the person that told me that there was a virgin version of this didn't know what they were talking about. But they did know what they were talking about. They really knew what they were talking about, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have been aware that this actually existed. So I am happy to have this. This is probably maybe my favorite image of Dazzler that I've ever seen by anyone. I love it that much. Now, J. Scott Campbell a few weeks ago showed his version of a Disco Dazzler for an upcoming issue that's going to be an exclusive on his site. I don't know if you've had the chance to see that. I haven't pulled the trigger on it or made up my mind if I'm going to. Possibly. I do like it. I don't like it as much as this, because this is just the tops, but Artgerm just rocks. Not telling you anything that you don't already know for yourself. But considering the J. Scott Campbell, if I can get it to work out financially at that time. So that brings us to the end of this comic book editions video. Out of everything that I showed for you, is there anything that you have in your collection or anything that you wish you had in your collection? We can dialogue about all of this stuff in the comment section below. Your comments are welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated. Give this video a thumbs up, a heart, because that's another great way to show support. Sharing my channel and this video with someone that you think might be interested is another great way to help me out. And it's always appreciated. Your friendship and support does mean a lot to me. So I don't think you're going to believe some of the comic books I've been able to add into my collection recently. Some key issues, even some issues that surprised me that I now own or have in my collection, both Marvel and DC. And those will be all coming up in future comic book editions videos here on my channel. We'll also have another spectacular spider haul sometime in the future. This one will be part 3 of, I don't know, many parts. But that will be in the future as well. So I look forward for you to join me for those things and more. In the meantime, thanks again for making it to the end of this video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.